All right. I get this question a lot, and the question is, what kind of weapon speed do I want for my daggers in main and offhand when I'm playing Assassination Rock in PvP? Now, the quick answer is, it depends, okay? It depends on your playstyle. Let's say you're playing with a healer, like I am, for example. We actually want to maximize our DPS because our games are going to be longer and we will stick to targets for a longer time, having a lot of uptime, right? So increased DPS is in our favor. So how do we do this? We do this by having two quick daggers in main and offhand. So 1.4 in main and 1.4 in offhand. Now let's say on the other side, you're playing double DPS. So your games are going to be way shorter and you will therefore have, just a little bit uptime, right? You're going to be on the target, use your abilities and maybe then vanish out or try to get out and re-stealth and get in again after your full energy, right? That's going to be your playstyle. And in that scenario, we want to maximize our burst damage. And we do this by having two slow daggers, so 1.8 in main and 1.8 in offhand. And that's basically it. Now, as to why, in terms of our DPS increase, it all hinges at our deadly poison procs per minute, right? This is our most important poison as an assassination rogue. Not only does it do good damage on its own, like the dot is pretty nice, it also helps us apply our other poison on the other weapon, right? Once we are at full stacks and it procs again. It also, which is probably the most important part, enables our envenom. You probably know this. Let's say you have 2 or 3 stacks. Let's say you have 3 stacks of deadly poison on your enemy and you use a 5 combo point envenom. You're actually only doing a 3 combo point envenom in terms of damage because you only have 3 stacks of deadly poison. You're effectively kind of wasting 2 combo points, which you obviously don't want to do. And to negate that, we want to stack deadly poison to its max stacks as fast as possible. How do we do this? Well, there are 2 ways. One of them is, well, if you look at the proc chance, it says 46% chance to poison the enemy, right, for each strike. Now it's 46% because I have 4 out of 5 in improved poison. If you have 5 out of 5, you have a 50% chance. And because this proc chance is fixed, we get more procs per minute if we actually apply this on a faster weapon than compared to a slow weapon, right? Like if you apply this to the sword, for example, 2.6 speed, we get way less procs per minute than with a faster dagger, right? And obviously it's true, like this fast dagger compared to the slow dagger, we'll get way more procs. Maybe not way more procs, we'll get like a significant amount of more procs than with a slow dagger. That's why we apply this to a fast dagger. And also we want this fast dagger to be in our main hand. That's because abilities like Mutilate actually have the chance to proc our main hand poison twice, or often only once. Also something like Envenom has the chance to proc our main hand poison. For those 2 reasons, we want to apply deadly poison to a fast dagger and put this in our main hand. As for the offhand, in terms of DPS, there's not a big difference between slow and fast daggers, but there is a big difference in terms of shift energy cost. So it's a 34 energy cost for 1.4 daggers, and it's a 38 energy cost for 1.8 daggers. And I usually press shift a lot, especially in longer games, and in those games you will accumulate a lot of, let's say, extra energy when you have a faster dagger that you can use, for something else. That's the main reason for me, at least, to use a fast dagger in the offhand. And that basically covers it. Now, there's a nice caveat in that we get from focus attacks when we run 2 fast daggers. Because focus attacks gives us energy every time we crit. If we attack more, we have the chance to crit more, therefore increasing our DPS by a decent amount. But also, like, this is not a big reason to go for fast daggers. It's a good reason though. So on the other side, if we have, let's say we're playing double DPS, right? Or we have like a matchup where we have a very low uptime against like mage priest. In these scenarios, we want to maximize our burst damage. And a big part of our burst damage is mutilate. And mutilate's damage calculation is based on the weapon damage, not the DPS, and also not the attack speed, the weapon damage. So if you look at these two daggers, for example, right? This 1.4 dagger has 250 DPS. The damage is 240 to 450. This 1.8 dagger also has 250 DPS, but the damage range goes from 360 to 540. Like around like 100 extra damage per attack. And if we change both daggers to 1.8 daggers, we actually increase mutilate's damage by a decent chunk. And usually in these shorter games where we go in, we use all our energy, most of it in mutilates, and then let's say we either get a kill or some trinkets, and then we vanish out, or we disengage, go for regular re-stealth, wait for our energy to be full, and then go back in to, you know, use it again on mutilates and whatever. In these scenarios, most of our damage actually comes from, you guessed it, mutilate. And this helps us in certain scenarios to maybe get a kill here or there if we go for the increased burst damage, as if we were just to go for the increased DPS. Now, overall, keep in mind, if you don't have the right speed, like sometimes, let's say this, where is it? This Lungbreaker, it's not a guaranteed drop, right? You can be unlucky and never get this weapon. It's not a big deal to just go for the reliable PvP dagger, the 1.8 in the main hand. You're not gonna, it's not gonna be like min-maxing, right? You're gonna miss a little bit of DPS, but it's not gonna matter too much. So, you know, keep this in mind. Obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, but that's like the gist of it, right? You want DPS, go for fast daggers. You want burst, go for slow daggers. And that's basically it. Bye bye.